Welcome back to the Millennial on Fire channel. We give you our take and perspective on personal finance, minimalism, and lifestyle to support the everyday millennial living in the rat race of life. Thanks for watching. So, why do millennials want to retire early? Welcome back to our channel. Today we want to talk about why millennials have latched onto this idea of FIRE. We are the Millennial on Fire channel after all, so we felt it made sense to make a video about this topic. But first, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and leave a like on this video. We put out new videos every week centered around personal finance, minimalistic living, and wealth building strategies, plus it helps continue to make more content just like this. Okay, so millennials have really latched onto this idea of financial independence, retire early. I would say more so than other generations. So why is that? Well, there are two major schools of thought right now. We have the old way of thinking and the new way of thinking. But first, let's better understand millennials. Let's briefly talk about what millennials have lived through. Millennials have not had an easy go at things. We were born into a rapidly changing world. During the last 3 decades, we've experienced 9/11, wars in the Middle East, multiple global financial crises, multiple social movements, and now a global pandemic that has completely shut down large parts of the global economy. This is stressful. The news is filled with unnerving stories and markets have been swinging up and down for the last few months. We have seen how uncertain the world can be and know that when it comes down to it, no one knows us anything and only we can protect ourselves. So let's get back to the new versus old way of thinking. The old way of thinking. Previous generations, including baby boomers and Gen Xers, lived the American dream. The generations were known for the American ideals of keeping up with the Joneses. They went to a 9-to-5 job every day, bought an affordable home in the suburbs with a 2-car garage, and counted on their pensions when they reached retirement. Retirement was limited to work for 45 years and enjoy your time. To understand previous generations, we have to look back at history to understand their way of thinking. The Great Depression of 1929 to 1939 was one of the worst economic downturns in the United States and across the globe. Unemployment was 23% and people were going hungry. People lived through a long stretch of time, a very long time of limited spending, and had very few things. Many people just worried about their next meal. Then came America's involvement in World War II. Many young American men went overseas while more women joined the workforce to make up for the reduction in the male workforce. The increase in production during the war and the rebuilding of Europe and Japan post-war laid the foundation for a more stable and prosperous economy. Post-World War II, soldiers returned home and, thanks to the GI Bill, were able to find more work, buy homes, and have kids. So this brought about the baby boom. And with the added disposable income came more personal consumption. Americans started to live the keeping up with the Joneses lifestyle, because guess what? They finally could. During the last half of the 20th century, status, wealth, and success were defined by many material possessions. The bigger the house, the better the car, and more personal possessions you owned equated to wealth and happiness in America. The status symbol of owning the newest and best was more important than what was saved in your bank account. However, this idea is starting to shift. Which brings us to what millennials are thinking. Millennials are financially unique for a few reasons. There is a negative societal view that is associated with millennials. We are seen as immature because we have high student loans, we wait to buy a house, get married, and often live with our parents well past 18 years old. We hear the joke of, you went to college, graduated, and then you just came back home? We are often viewed as lazy, pampered, self-involved, and also desperate to avoid FOMO. We leave the nest later and get married later, sometimes into our 30s and 40s. Some of us even decide to live a dink lifestyle, double income, no kids, to get financially on our feet and wait even longer to have children. However, millennials get a bad rap. Today, 30% of young adults aged 18 to 34 are married. But 40 years ago, in 1978, 59% of young adults were married. What this really shows is millennials are waiting to make bigger decisions. The story used to be grow up, move out at 18, get married, work until you were 60 years old, and retire on your company's pension. This statistic shows that the idea is changing. Millennials and current generations are now looking at success through a different lens. Millennials were raised by parents who felt the need to keep up with the Joneses. We also watched the devastation that the financial crashes had on our parents' retirement accounts and the impact it had on our opportunities to find jobs and start our careers. We see how difficult it can be to retire for people who have worked their entire lives. There is a skewed importance put on material things instead of financial security. That is ultimately making generations suffer during their retirement years. So what are millennials doing about it? Millennials are very much a do-it-yourself generation. We were the first generation to really have open access to almost any information through the internet. If we need to solve a problem, what do? We Google it. Because of this, we can learn almost anything we want through a video, audio, or step-by-step manual found online. A lot of millennials are money conscious and are willing to save money and learn new skills given the free access of information out there. We also have access to financial information found on blogs and YouTube channels, which led me, along with potentially millions of others, to start their FIRE journey. Millennials like ourselves understand that we must be able to financially support ourselves, but must decide at what cost to our happiness and freedom to achieve it. Eventually, studying personal finance led me to read this book, Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. The book teaches you that your money is a tool to buy time, not products. I love this book and I highly recommend you read it to help you understand the true meaning of money in our society. The years of keeping up with the Joneses is over. Millennials are discovering what they want, and in most cases, this is time and experiences. And because of this, they are using a different approach to personal finance. As a millennial on FIRE, I am personally working towards FIRE. We believe the payoff of time is more valuable than the high-ticket items we could get now. We believe that making sacrifices now will allow us to have a more enjoyable and financially stable future. Time is our most valuable asset, and the only way to buy more time is to make smart money choices now. We do not have to work forever. We want options, we want time, and we want our freedom. Let me know in the comments if you are a part of the millennial generation. What brought you to the FIRE movement? And what are your short and long-term financial goals? So that's it for the video today. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content. Thanks for watching.